Hey guys, it's James and Jono. We're here. Fuck this intro up like 3 times, but we're going. Jono, we're here
All
for
right,
our
so
round
yeah,
nine.
go. Take
Yeah.
three. Let's go. We're in.
All right, we're here for our round 9 betting tips. We're just going to go through the hits, the misses this week. But so far we had a pretty good week. $355 we're up. I think we hit 3 bets and one was a bonus bet covered on top of. So yeah, it was a great week. Great round of footy too. The Collingwood Geelong game was pretty good, hey?
Yeah, well, it depends who you go for, but
Yeah.
yeah, what a finish, all that stuff. But yeah, yeah, good week, really.
Yeah.
So we'll get stuck into it, I guess, man.
Jono and I were thinking, just to preface this convo, we're going to maybe reduce the round review. So I feel like we're going to do maybe like 70% the bets. So maybe we talk a bit more for the teams, and then we'll do like 30% for the review. So we'll try and limit that. We'll go through who hit, who missed, what we called, what was correct, what to watch out for, and we'll just try and limit that because I feel like the meat of the video is the betting portion. That's the juice.
That's the juicy bit.
Yeah, that's the fat
pig,
content.
the whole pig. Yeah.
All right, so we're going to go straight into round 1, which was the Essendon North game, and we're going to have the misses down below just so we can talk about that all in one go. But from the Essendon North game, I actually didn't get to watch much of this because I was working late. So thankfully this bet hit, but I don't have too much to comment other than I'm glad we were safe and reserved for Caleb Daniel for 20 because I feel like she's all going in the back line. He's just taking a bit of Caleb Daniels' ball, even though there's no Zach Fisher. So.
Yeah, exactly right. It's a worrying one. I'd be scared. Like quarter time, what was he on? I think he was on like 2. So worrying very early. It was very, very worrying. Yeah. Everyone else, though, I think we were looking. Oh, Jai Simpkin was a bit quiet, but he like I think James, you said that he picks it up in the second half.
He has done that a lot of the time. Like this year, he'll be on like 7, 8 posies at halftime. I'm like, no, he should still be fine. So, but yeah, you're right with Caleb Daniel, how he started very slow again, and it's like he's playing catch up the whole game, and he got 2 posies in that first quarter. So,
and it worries me. Like I heard this as well. He needs kick-ins. Like he's a player that relies on kick-ins. I don't know what he. Let me just quickly have a look. Sorry.
Yeah. No, that's right. Well, you're looking at that. I just want to pat myself on the back with the Tom Powell pick. I was so bullish on him with Wardlaw not playing. I was like, Tom Powell's midfield minutes are going to go through the roof, and he looked great early. So I was very
and Wardlaw back this week sounds like. So
Tom Powell.
Fuck Tom Powell off. Yeah, Caleb Daniels 7 kick-ins of the 22. So like he's really. I know he's a. We'll have to look at him next week, but yeah, he might be a steer clear. So
yeah, if he presents value in the 20 posie bracket, because he just wasn't at 25, but 20 seems pretty good. Sam Durham, we were very happy with, who bounced back. He got 2 19s in a row. I was like, just when a player just goes just miss, you can't just leave them because I feel like Sam Durham is going to average 22, 23 posies for the year. He's not going to have 3-4 games sub 20, so just had to bounce back on him.
Yeah, the other last one was different to the bet. Cherry, we said him as well before the game. Yeah, but just like I think we'll probably look at it again this week. But versus Goldie, it might be just free money at the moment. So yeah,
everyone's just feasting on poor old Goldie,
beating up on the seniors.
So. But yeah, you're right. It's good to match up because we got to look out for obviously Witts, the ruck killer, and then Goldie, the ruck feaster, I guess.
Yeah, and I think he has Grundy this week, so might be looking at Grundy later in the week. So
no, good call. We'll move on. We'll keep these reviews pretty quick, but the bet was pretty good there for our second game. So you'll see in the round misses just below us, we have 2 from the game 2, the 15 posi bracket and the 20. Shai Bolton, Hayden Young. Hayden Young is the injury and out for the rest of the year or something.
12 weeks, I think.
Oh, so he might be back before finals.
Yeah, maybe, but fuck, obviously that obviously killed the bet in the first half. Even in saying that, Shai Bolton probably already killed the bet in the first half.
And if you had any other Freo players other than Luke Ryan, Brayshaw, it's hard to say stunk it up just because Freo in general all stunk it up and Saints played good. Caleb Sarong had like 15 posies, so don't feel too discouraged on Shai Bolton or any of these Freo players. I feel like a stinker like that, a collective stinker, is something not to just pin on one player who was in your bet. So I'm still bullish on Bolton, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And it was just a bad night. St Kilda at Marvel, they're going to shut the game down. They clearly have a plan that they love the Ross line game style. So Bad night for Freo though, and really bad night for Bolton. Like maybe we look at him to bounce back this week though, like you said.
Yeah,
So,
and like usually like a 7, that is awful. Like he's not even hitting half of the posies, but just Freo as a collective. I think there was a quarter where he had like 1 posie, maybe it happened twice, and he was tapped out at like half time. So like I don't hold him accountable for that. Caleb Sarong averaging 30 posies has 15. Like that's awful.
yeah, copped a bit of like Windhager was lurking around. I don't think he matched on him the whole game, but he was lurking. So the other one would be, like you said, I think you said rightfully so, Luke Jackson, steer clear when Sean Darcy's in the team. So
Oh God, sometimes you just gotta pat yourself on the back. These
sometimes
ones you call.
it's easy, you know.
The ones that hit though, Jack Sinclair. So I took him for 20 just as a little, bonus boost to get my bet to $4. He just hit. So like, what the fuck? Even when St Kilda popped off, I thought he would still have a lot of it, halfback, kick-ins, even just sort of rotating up the ground.
Just so you know, Freo only kicked 3 points.
Oh, okay, yeah, true.
So him and Wanganeen only got 3 kick-ins, and they shared it.
So I'll be guilty. When Hayden Young was out and this game was boring, low scoring as fuck, I tapped out. So I didn't watch the rest of it. It was so like painful. Ryan Burns hit. Wanganeen Miller, he's only missed once this year for 25, and that was a 24 posi bracket. And Luke Ryan, the ball's in the back line there. Actually, Jordan Clark missed 2. I think he got like 16. So all my Freo favourites all missed.
Yeah, so something to look at this week. Back at home, they need to respond.
Against Collingwood on Thursday, right?
Thursday night, and also the outs for Collingwood. So stay tuned for the post section for the bet for that game.
Nice. I like that. So again, pretty quick, we'll go on to the third game, which was the Doggies Port. Now, man, look at all the Doggies players we bet on, and then Connor Rose. So the ball is mostly in the back line there. Doggies smack them. God, this looked good. And even though Lockie Bramall and Tim English were on 1 posi at quarter time, were we worried, Jono? Yes.
Well, Timmy, I was more worried about Tim, and then Tim just remembered that he was an All-Australian ruckman, it seemed, in this game. He decided, I'm the best ruckman in the comp again. Now, he's not that. We all know Max Gawn's better, but he played really fucking well.
Yeah, I was like 3 goals, and the whole game, and I think you were bullish on him. I was kind of but he's versing Jordan Sweet, his old Bulldogs backup ruckman, so I was like, Timmy's got to have a good game. So very, very happy with him. But Lockie Bramall, Jono was not as bullish on him. I was like, I got to take him, even though he's just missed. So he just hit again, but he had like, I'm just quickly getting the stats up now. I'm pretty sure he had 1 posi in the first quarter, like Tim English. He did. And then he also had 3 in the last quarter. So I don't know. It's just...
He's getting there.
Well, with Johannesson back too now, who's getting
might
over
be fucking
15.
it up, or might be fucking it up.
Lockie Bramall has no need to try and get posies, especially when Bailey Dale's popping off.
Yeah, and I think that they might be looking at him more just like, we don't need you to touch the ball, mate. Just play defense. That's it.
Exactly. Yeah, no, I think you hit the nail on the head.
The last thing I was Tim English as well. Just a stat I heard today. It was actually on Hardball Gets. That Tim, so last year Tim won a hit out count once for the season. This year he's only lost the hit out count once this season.
Whoa, that's huge.
He's like turned his now if you're winning hit outs, you're probably getting a lot of grab out of the rucks, get rid of it kind of disposals as well. So he's definitely turned his season around, I think. So,
yeah, I was just looking at the stats. Only like 5 players from Port hit over 20 and less than half.
This was a beat down. The other one was beat down.
I was just having a look. If you exclude the subs, only 4 players missed from the 15 posi bracket for Doggies. That's crazy. They got so much of the footy.
Yeah, the other one, like just on Rosie, like we were so keen on him, and early on in the game, like by quarter time, we were like, nah, this isn't gonna hit. He's just feasting on that ball. I don't know what's gonna showdown this week. They got destroyed in that midfield. Do they?
So
they
did put him in the midfield. I can't remember what point of that game. No,
not for very long.
So. I think that was just a look. You got to stop the bleeding. You can't just keep it going. Let's try him back in the mid. But I feel like for the showdown, what they want to stick to is him in the back line. I feel like that was like a Hail Mary to put him in the mid.
We'll talk about it in the next vid. But yeah, I think Adelaide, like they got Keys, they got Peatling, they got these Neil Ball, and they got these forwards that can play defensive forward. So will be a watch, I guess. But
Yeah, and
I think you're right though. I think you're right that he'll stay backline.
That's my thought. But yeah, just taking out of that, where maybe we've hit Lockie Bramall, so maybe we don't have to hit him next week. We've had a share of him, and Ed Richards looks like the best midfield there out of the Dogs, even though Bont is popping off. Trelaw got 27, but God, Ed Richards is looking good.
Yeah, he's looking great.
Nice. On to the Crows Carlton game. So wait, oh shit. Oh, that was just and that was the bonus bet. So the one that missed, what was the one that missed? Oh, this one. So Hayden Young missed, so that is like counted out of the Ladbrokes thing. So technically only Shy Bolton hit. So sorry, I'm just wondering why I had two bets there. The bonus bet on the doggies, and again, you don't have to do anything crazy. Just put it on the same thing you do. So there you go. That's how we're getting the profit. So nothing too tricky. Sorry. Now on to the Adelaide Carlton game. So Ben fucking Keys. Oh, someone said in the comment section, I've never seen Ben Keys get so burnt than like when I have money on him and I'm watching. It is so true. He runs so hard. He does everything. He makes space. Oh, and his teammates like burn him. And you just, when you have money on him, you notice it so much.
Isn't it funny? Like, I believe we said in the video, you either can go Ben Keys for a goal or Ben Keys for the 15. We like him for the 15. So and just say it's like that. Sometimes that happens. So it's not much we can do about that. But
yeah, no, it is what it is. And I just want to say that was JJ9950 who said that, and I felt you're paying for that one, man. So that was very unlucky. George Hewitt only just hit 25, so I feel like that was more of a quiet game for him. And I know Adelaide played well, and I don't know what to make of Carlton at the moment. If the momentum is actually here, but yeah, George Hewitt for 25, I'm still bullish on, even though he just hit. And Rankin has not. Oh, he's missed one proper one, and that was 19 posies. We're excluding the sub game he got in like round 2. He's only had one miss for 20 this year.
And Worrell's decided to be their best. He's decided I'm going to be the best defender at Adelaide now.
And what's worrying is like the media's talking about him a lot now. When the media starts to talk about your nice $1.36 bets, that's when they start to decline in value. Which they're playing well, good on them, but yeah, we want to make value for money.
The other one, just the last one, George Hewitt. This week they're playing Adelaide. There's the Windhager tag. They're not. I don't think they're going to waste a Windhager tag on Hewitt, even though they actually might. They should probably, because he's their best player right now. But it's too tempting. It'd be silly to not tag Cripps or not tag Walsh when you've
especially when Cripps is back in the mid, when Curnow and Mackay are back and forward. So
yeah, so I feel like Hewitt can still get his ball out there. So.
Yeah, no, I agree with that one. Was there anyone else you want to touch on just before we move on? Because we're making good time so far.
That's all pretty good. Adelaide, just beat the shit out of them. It was it was actually quite good. I didn't see all of this one, but when I did, they were looking really good. So.
Yeah, no, I did watch this one. Because you're on the way to actually we can transition because you're on the way to the Magpie Geelong game. So. Yeah. Super unlucky. Like, I don't want to bring up the game result for Jono.
That's fine. It was a good game.
It was a good game. And Jack Crisp, although he missed the goal, he got us the 15 posies on the siren. Yes, Jack Crisp.
The real winner. Who's the real winner here?
But unfortunately, Lawson Humphreys had the concussion and the head knock. So, look, it didn't affect... I don't want to say it didn't affect him because he played the rest of the game.
Just spent a lot of time off. That's all.
Surprisingly though, so even though spending a lot of time off and doing all that, he had 90% game time. So I don't know if he's going to miss.
Wow.
Yeah. So they love him. They love Lawson Humphreys.
Interesting.
So what was I going to say? I need to see if he's missing this week, but I'm very bullish on Lawson Humphreys.
I think he's going to play this week. And led the team in kick-ins.
Yep. So love. Speaking of game time, the opposite end of the spectrum, which I complained to John about this. I'm going to do it again for you guys. So Ned Long had 70% game time. What are we doing? That is crazy. He is not even playing 3/4 of footy. He's playing 70%. Imagine you're betting on Ned Long and he's taken off like at the end, 10 minutes to go the third quarter, and he just sits there and just doesn't take the field in the fourth quarter. That's essentially what he's doing. But in a Dane Swan type of way where he runs, bench. He's having 3 interchanges in 1 quarter.
He's so important when he's on though, and
I love him. Yeah,
and it has to wait. It was 68%. I think the week before it was 70% this week. This week I'm expecting that 80% with the Collingwood's already said they're resting all these players.
Oh, yeah, true.
Yeah, I feel like he has to. That he's just going to go up and up because when he's in the middle, Collingwood wins the clearance. That's the way it is.
And so I'm complaining about game time, but that doesn't mean I'm not bullish on him. If he's getting 18 posies and 70%, look, that's great, but it's also just hindering. It's just limiting his disposal cap when he's only playing a certain amount of game time. And just for reference, if you take out Mason Cox, who got subbed, Will Hoskin-Elliott, who was the sub, he has the lowest game time. The next lowest is is Steel Sidebottom, the old boy, at 75%, a whole extra 5%, which is a lot in a game of footy. So,
well, I think this week he's got to play. He's going to have to play.
No, I think so too. Speaking of the good things though, Nick Dacos and Josh Dacos, the Dacos brothers, we could have gone to Josh Dacos and Nick for 25. We were trying to be conservative and like, all right, let's do 20 for Josh. Man, he looks so good off halfback.
I like them both again this week too. I don't think Freo's only known tagger is Jaeger. Jaeger's not quick enough for Nick by any means. So I think I like them both again.
Yeah, so. I'm the same. And even with the tag, I feel like Nick Dacos is still like who was on him for the Geelong game? It was
Mullen, the Irish kid.
Yeah,
Ocean.
He was wearing Nick Dacos like a glove early, and far out he's just the champion. He gets so much of the footy.
Yeah, he works so hard and stuff. And one thing I'd say is like he still got a couple of free kicks, but he usually would get a bunch more. Like the umpire just, it looks like it was a hold, and he kind of gets ones that aren't there. And so he didn't even get those this week, which he shouldn't usually, but usually he gets an extra little boost more on top of that, which he didn't have to rely on this week.
Yeah, so. Actually, just speaking of that, I saw there was a couple of times where, like, just say the umpire fucked up the bounce. He was complaining to another umpire. He's like, look, he's holding me and stuff. So I feel like
they might look out for it this week.
No, couldn't have said it better. I don't think there's anyone else I wanted to touch on. Lockie Schultz kicked 3 behinds and not a goal, so I'm very bullish on him maybe for next week. And Paddy Dangerfield, holy fuck, just when I thought I would ease off on him for 15, comes out with 29 posies. That was wild. He had a great game.
He he was the last quarter. He just put the team on his back. And I'd been saying that he's going to have to be, he'll be tired. He's 2 6-day breaks. He just fucking went to another level there.
Yeah.
And barely touched the set of bounce. He was just floating around packs the whole game. So.
He can have games like that too. And I'm pretty sure he was paying like $1.45. So that is value for money right there. So love that for Dangerfield. I was just a bit worried the week before where he sat too much in the forward line. But when the game's on the line and stuff, he is popping off.
Sorry, I know we went a bit long on this game, but
fine.
The last one was... Bailey Smith is hit every single time, hasn't he?
Every single game this year for Geelong. Crazy. And it's like you can't you can't ignore
it. Might not even, I don't think there's money in it anymore. I think we've missed the boat. So
yeah, he is looking great. Darcy Cameron as well played or feasted because Reece Stanley was off, and then who was in the Blitzer? It was like Trooper, don't get me wrong, very versatile, great, but when you're having a real ruckman versus kind of a swing backup ruckman, the real ruckman is going to feast every day.
Yeah. Just on the we'll look into this in the next video, but that it sounds like they're playing GWS in Geelong, and Bedford's probably. I'm guessing he's not playing right now. If he doesn't get up, then
that hit on the eye from Melican.
Yeah, and. But that, like Bailey Smith and Max Holmes running around with no tag, fuck. I don't know. How did Max Holmes go in the end? I didn't see.
He got 21, but Max Holmes, I really thought he was going to push for 25 plus posies this year, playing more mid, going off half back into the mid. He's just not quite there.
I think Bailey's just taken the ball, which is fine.
Yeah, I was about to say, I feel like that has really hampered him. But yeah, I mean, I think it's time to jump ship to Bailey Smith instead of Holmes.
Where's Holmes? Yeah, lowest CBAs for the year by far. Like dropped 38.
Oh, I was going to guess 50s, 38. Jeez.
Yeah, so his second lowest. So round 1 he had 62. That was his lowest, and then he dropped to 38. Maybe he's not in the midfield in rotation.
Could be maybe the Stewart out. Maybe just they want. Maybe I know
that's
Humphreys
100% true.
Yeah.
And then Henry's still out. That's good point. Actually, I didn't even think about that. So if they don't come back this week, maybe definitely steer clear. Probably.
Yeah.
Probably impacted our boy Humphreys too.
Oh, yeah. Actually, yeah, you're right. I think so. Max Holmes going back there, but I'm still bullish on Humphreys. I really like him, so got to give them a miss every now and then. Anyone else you want to touch on?
No, like that. That's all good.
Yeah, that was a cracker game. I could speak about that one for ages. So moving on to another cracker was the Eagles-Melbourne game. So thankfully...
The real match of the Saturday.
So look, I mean... I hope McGovern's okay. He got a concussion. And, sometimes, yes, there are injury-prone players. You can't help a concussion. You can't help when Jake Melsham or pushes you into the back of a marking pack and he gets concussed. That's out of McGovern's hands. Can't do anything. Any player's going to get concussed at that point.
Yeah.
But the point is, when that happened, we could all sit back and watch the Geelong Pies game. So, yeah, very unlucky. We got our tip right, Jono. Pat ourselves on the back. Melbourne, but Harley Reid, he started out quiet again. I think it was another one posi first quarter because he's playing nothing but forward. As soon as he's in the mid, he's better, but it's, again, just too little too late.
Yeah, unfortunately, that one, I was surprised about that. I would have thought that he picked it up. Maybe someone we can look at. Maybe he's a steer clear. I'm not sure yet.
He picked it up in the sense where I think in the second quarter he got 6 or 7, maybe 6 posies. So he can have big quarters like that. But I think just when Max Gawn is getting 30 posies and then Melbourne turn it on, it's like, what's West Coast mid going to do?
People are saying Max played the best game a ruckman's ever played on the weekend. So
yeah.
Just on the whole thing, he did play Flynn. So if Flynn might be almost in the Goldie category, maybe that's someone we look at feasting upon a bit, I think. So
yep, no, that's a good call. Someone I want to also just pat ourselves on the back. So Jake Bowie, we have been we've been so Bowie heavy, and as soon as he goes up against the West Coast, he was like $1.11. What the fuck is that halfback? I love Jake Bowie. 1, we're not going to bet on him for that value. 2, he's versing West Coast. I think what did May get? I'm pretty sure. Oh wait, did he even play? May got 10 posies. McDonald got 13. Salem got 14. Bowie got 18. Every backman from Melbourne all missed. McVee got 7. That was
the ball's not. It's not down there enough. So
no,
yeah.
and that was just a absolute hit, slap, or whatever you call it. Just you could not miss that. There was no value at all betting on him. So we are big tick for not betting on Bowie this week.
Yeah. Ryan Marrick as well. We've been riding that train, and fuck me. Now and McGovern's out this week.
Ryan Marrick just has been so. I sometimes do other bets that include players from every team, and just sort of Ryan Marrick is literally just absolutely carrying. He's always $1.40, $1.50. Oh my god, he is a lock. Getting so many kickouts.
I don't even know what the odds are going to be this week. I feel like he's going to be first name.
$1.01.
And he'll probably be on our, which we might be introducing this week, is our locks of the week. We're going to maybe potentially do an extra bet there, guys. I feel like he's going to be on the list. So
yeah, no, I like that. Yeah, I reckon we're going to start just naming maybe our favorite player of that game. Do what you like with that info. But yeah, I think it's a really good point. Again, this game I didn't watch much of because I was mainly watching the Pies game. But Liam Baker has also hit 20 plus in every game this year. Looking fantastic. Oscar Allen got 15 positives in the back line. So we might have to watch out for that one.
No McGovern as well. He'll have to play back line. So
unironically, maybe I'm going to have a look at. So depends what
who are they playing? Sorry. Playing Richmond. Yeah, he'll feast.
Oh, yeah. Well,
he'll get the lynch. We'll talk about that next video. But
no, good call. Jono and I can get sidetracked and talk footy for ages. So the next one, which is the first game of the Sunday. So that was the Swans GWS game. And oh my fuck. So you guys would have seen Hogan missed an easy set shot in the second quarter. Straight. It was fucking, and then the poster at the end.
Yeah, let's have a shot from the fucking boundary and almost. If that went through, I was like, fuck him. We're never betting him again.
No, see, the thing is, Hogan, I don't have the stats on the side of me. He was 10 out of 10 for, I've got it down below. 10 out of 10 for 2 goals a game. Coleman medalist, I'm pretty sure, maybe it was he's kicked 1 goal 2 or 3 times in the last year and a half. So he is great for 2 goals. Just very unfortunate. GWS have just not really had a good couple of weeks. I know the game was kind of close, but Sydney just looked great early, and GWS stunk it up against the Doggies. Well, look, I know it was close, but I don't think they played a good game in this one.
Yeah, exactly right. All our bets though, first quarter, we're like, if Hogan can get a goal here, we're home and hosed. The whole time we're like, we are home and hosed. We just need Hogan. We just need Hogan.
This one was fantastic. Where
everything.
It was meant to be. Anyway.
And also, I think there was a lot of talk in the chat about the Bedford tag. It was always going to go Heaney. We saw that coming, and we thought that. And on the other end, I think we also said steer clear of Whitfield. I think Whitfield still would have racked it up in the end because they probably dumped the tag towards the end. But Jordan went to Whitfield. That we called that early.
Well, so Whitfield was being clamped by James Jordan, but then James Jordan is having a game of himself and kicking 2 goals, 18 posi. So when your tag is actually playing well, you play well yourself. So Whitfield did end up hitting, but was on track not to hit until he had a great game. Speaking of just that tag, so Bedford stood next to Warner, but it was like 5 meters apart. As soon as the bounce goes, he runs to Heaney. I was very bullish that Warner was going to have the free reign, and yeah, he did. And Bedford didn't play the whole game. Hope he's all right. But I think both of them hit in the end too. So he got 22.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I can't remember exactly when the Bedford. I think it happened in the second quarter, so we can't take much out of the drop of the Bedford role there. But I think we all, I think we said about the Bedford tag might it's hard to judge it on this week, but the Bedford tag might not be as effective as we thought, but we'll have to see. So this week against Bailey, if he doesn't play, I don't know, maybe I'll steer clear of Bailey if he is, but yeah.
I can't get over this bet. Like, all those legs looked fantastic, and just like Hogan, the 10 out of 10. Oh mate, I was so fucking pissed. But as you'll see, just later on in the next couple of things, we get a bonus bet out of this. And is there anyone else you want to talk about? For this game?
Hogan. We will look at it. I think we'll look at it before the next video.
Keen.
He's playing in Geelong, so
I'm still keen.
I just want to check what they do it now. If Henry and Stewart are still out, I think we have to go for it. But I just want to see what key forwards have done in Geelong. I was in Geelong round 1 when Fremantle got the shit beat out of him, and Tracy couldn't buy a goal.
I was there too. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, too.
Hey, John.
That
game, I do remember that one. Oh, that was also where Murphy Reid kicked like 4 in 4 minutes.
Yeah, exactly right. Now I think. It's a tough one. We'll talk about it more in the next video because this is looking like a Geelong beatdown coming this week.
Yeah, except Hogan will kick 2. But yeah, as I was saying, this was obviously lost by 1 leg, and I've said so many times your bet should be covered by a bonus bet. So we couldn't use it on the next game because this game started in the 3rd quarter or something of the Sydney game, so we couldn't flip it.
This is probably our worst.
Look, I had no expectations for this. This game I was not bullish on. My worry was Nank. I didn't think Warple and Short were also going to be worries. So this game fucking sucked. I didn't watch it. I was on my way to the Brisbane game anyway, and this game I was not confident in. 3 players missed. Gross.
I think this was the one that I'd have to go back and look at the video, but I feel like this was the one where we were like, we don't like any of the people in this one.
No, we said that there wasn't much value. We probably had like 6 players highlighted in blue, and most of them end up in the bet anyway. So like, it's very hard.
I think that's like, it shows here, like, even though we're placing the bet, guys, doesn't mean you should if sometimes the bets, if it doesn't make sense, you don't make it, I guess. But yeah.
Yeah, and like I usually place a bet on a game every game, but yeah, I just was struggling with this one. And to be fair, like Jaden Short is like one of my go-tos. So when he had like a 16 2 weeks before. Oh, it's actually, I've got it here. Yeah, he had a 16 2 weeks before, 25. He's usually more consistent than that. So to have 2 games in 3 weeks that are 15 and 16 posies, I don't like, especially when Vlosten's popping off too. And Trainer got fucking 21 posies, the rookie.
Just on the Vlosten's 6 kickouts, everyone else singles, so he's the kicking guy. So.
Yeah, I think I'm bullish on Vlosten for 20 instead of Short at the moment.
Yeah,
Trainer for 15.
I think it was just a shit game. Like, there's not much we could do there.
Yeah, so. I mean, again, another shit one to watch. I don't like 70-point win to Hawks, so yeah.
Sicily didn't look great either getting that 24. Now he's not going to be any value in the 15 this week, but I don't think I'd like him for 20.
No, ever since this whole swing thing going forward back, I've been steering clear of Sicily. It's just not a risk I'm willing to take.
Yeah.
There's not much else I want to say about this one. There's just hasn't been that many good players to bet on from Richmond. I do want to really back Trainer, and I noticed Banks as well got 15. A couple of players I don't usually bet because I only have like Dow, Short, Hopper. That's it really for Richmond. Not many players.
And this week against West Coast, a lot more of their players will come into play because they should get a bit more ball. So
yeah. No, we'll touch on that in the next one. And so remember that Sydney game that didn't hit, we get the bonus bet. That goes on to this one. Oh shit. Okay, so I'm just gonna quickly explain this. So this is the bet we did in the video. They all hit. Heck yeah. The profit we would have won for this one goes into the tally, which I have just here. So that's all been updated. For my bet, though, I just squeezed in Charlie Cameron. I was bullish on Charlie Cameron for the goal scorer. So I was like, Charlie, I know he's going to kick one. I think he kicked 3. Heard Country Road. It was so good. So this was my bet. I was very bullish. And I actually, last thing, Jono, I know I'm rambling, but you know how I said, don't include stupid things in your bonus bet? I did my bonus bet, and I fucking included an over line of 140 points, and that didn't hit. It was low scoring. Every time I go to the Gabba, Lions like score 70 plus points easily, except when they lost to Collingwood. And I was like, yeah, give me that $1.10. Fucked my bonus, and yeah, just a little slap on the wrist for me.
Yeah. Nah, it just shows it. When we did the Melbourne bet, that was a very much a once in a blue moon kind of thing. But yeah, yeah.
But otherwise, this one was great. So sorry, let me go to the one from the video. We included these players. I don't know if you can see that, John.
This was a beatdown.
Yeah,
this was an good old fashioned beatdown. So.
Look, I was so God, I love it when we bet like the doggies game, right? We bet on like all doggies players and then a halfback in Connor Rosie, and doggies just pile it on, and it was great. This one as well, Brisbane like pile it on, and we bet on a Gold Coast halfback in John Noble, and thankfully Noah Anderson, he stepped up. He's been looking great. So in games where Gold Coast lose or just look shit, Matty Rowell is the one who's fucking getting 16, 15, having real stinkers. Noah Anderson has been very consistent. He only just missed because he had a hard tag last week.
Yeah, it was just a good old. It was very impressive to see, and yeah, it was like I think you know the team the best. You called them straight out, and you were right, 100%.
Yeah, and like it does feel really good. Like you know a lot of the Collingwood players and the tactics and stuff, and I watch Brisbane like Hawks or like Lions, but it's great to watch. And Dane Zorko, yes, I was very very bullish on for 25. We got him for 20.
Yeah, good call.
We got him for 25 a week ago, and I'm like, okay, good. We've finally hit. Now we can regress. Like, I don't have to be chasing that goal. He would have easily missed if he didn't get those junk. He got like 5 posies in the last 2 minutes of the game because they're just chip. So Dane Zorko for 20. I don't know if I can take the 25 at the moment. So he's just not looking as hungry. Like, he is now pointing where to switch the play. So one thing I've noticed this year, he's like, kick over there, kick him. Dane Zorko last year was like, yeah, me. He's just not quite that hungry this year.
And either both or one of Duday and Coleman will probably play this week.
Yes. So that'll be great.
Potentially both. So I feel like he's dead. I think he's dead in the water.
Yeah, so again, love Zorko. I still think he'll be great at halfback, great for the Lions, good kick, but he just doesn't need to be that 25 plus anymore. So
no, he's not needed that, but he'll still get the kick-ins and still get it. But maybe in a couple, if he misses a bunch in a row, maybe he might fall into a new bracket for us, which would be nice.
Oh yeah, if he gets in the 20 posi bracket, I will very much like that. And if he ever goes to half forward again, then I'll worry. But for the meantime, while he's in the back line, that's great.
Yeah.
John Noble, by the way, is still my favourite backman for Gold Coast. Oh, God, I actually love...
What did Rioli get, actually? I didn't see in the end.
18, so another miss for Rioli. And,
interesting, Rioli's a steer clear then.
Yeah, Will Powell missed too, so you called him. Tell you who freaking... we were bullish on Joel Jeffrey, but
yeah.
I didn't want to include him because I was too nervous because look how many legs we got. I didn't want to include Joel Jeffrey, but you know someone who did... Vincent VV5LL had a fucking monster. Oh, yeah. Fat, huge bet. What the fuck? So he did all the legs we provided, but then added on Joel Jeffrey and Levi Ashcroft for 20. Joel Jeffrey for 15, Levi Ashcroft for 20, and then Charlie Cameron for a goal, who I was bullish on. But not only Charlie Cameron, also Calamarchi. So huge.
Yeah, well done, Vincent. That was a great... I think we went very well. We don't usually go that big, but look, sometimes when you go big, it pays off. And well done, mate. Great call.
Yeah, very good call. So there's a lot of players maybe we're bullish on, and then we try and just narrow it down to 3, 4, 5, or in this case 6 legs, but they're all kind of conservative. I'm not huge on going more, but that was great. Way to back your judgment. So. I think that was a pretty good, successful round for that one. So, John and I are trying to keep this short. We could easily ramble for another hour, but we're going to try and put more of the meat of the video in the betting video. We might, talk about more of the players then. So, anyone else you want to recap or shout out or mention or whatever before we
No. We'll talk about it more in the next video, I think, guys. But yeah, Thanks everyone. We'll
Yeah,
see you in
too
the next
easy.
video.
Chat to you then. Peace. Alrighty, we're here for the betting portion of the video. There's no Jono today. He's busy working, so it's just classic old me doing this one. We'll talk about the Freo Collingwood game next video, but crazy how Collingwood got not much footy and still won. Anyway, but we're here for the St Kilda Carlton game 2 of round 9. This one, I've got only 3 legs, and what I want to start doing is, I might include these at the top, but just for this video's sake, they're all at the bottom of the list, but I've combined, or I've listed everyone in the bet, and it's nice to just see them all laid out one after the other, just to really gauge, like, just, I don't know, I feel like it's a good sample size to be like, okay, how good is this bet? And here we can tell in the one I've done as well, Ryan Burns for 15, Wanganeen Miller for 25, and Jack Higgins for 2 goals. So Jack Higgins for 2 goals, he has kicked, like, and we'll work our way back. So, because I like starting with the 15 posi bracket. But in the 15, we've obviously picked Ryan Burns, but he has looked great off half back and on the wing, and there's no Mason Wood still. So Mason Wood usually plays wing, high half forward. Ryan Burns has been looking great there. So to only have 1 miss this year, and it was 13 posies, I think is just, like, I can't say no. He's $1.67, 8 out of 10, averaging like 17 posies. Yeah, I just have to pick him. He's looking great. Someone I was very tempted to pick was Jack Silvani. Same price, 7 out of 10. He's missed 2 this year. I'm pretty sure it was 2. He just missed the 1 game. But that's since he's played in half back, or in the back line. It's funny, I was telling Jono that, so when I would do these videos by myself, like, I'm used to doing them by myself for a while, but when I do them with Jono, it gives me a little window to, like, Google stats and check things while he's talking. So I won't be able to multitask as much while it's just me. But yeah, so he has missed 2 this year, Hawks and Magpies. Look, I like Jack Silvani, but I'm just more confident with Ryan Burns, especially if he's playing on the wing. More chances to get it. Instead of just trying to rely on intercept marks or kick out receives or, you know, whatever from Silvani. Hence why I've gone Burns. Darcy Wilson, also playing wing, but half forward. 2 misses this year, both 13 posies. Looking great. So again, no Mason Wood. It's the same thing as Burns. I feel like he's got plenty of opportunity to touch it. I haven't highlighted Hugh Boxall. Boxall. Anyway, the rookie who came on with 16 posies. And so St Kilda just destroyed Freo last week, and every Freo player was down, right? Every Freo player, like Brayshaw, Sarong, the only ones who had a good game were like Luke Ryan and Matt Johnson. Everyone stunk it up, right? So I don't know how serious to take Hugh Boxall, I hope I'm saying that right, against, you know, Carlton. So I know Carlton aren't in the best form either, but, you know, we'll see. So one, I don't really like going against a first, second, third, you know, gamer. So already that's put me off. And yeah, it was against Freo, who had an outlier of just a shit performance. Like, even in their loss to Collingwood last night, they still got so much of the footy. So yeah, haven't highlighted him for that one. Not really confident in any of the others. Like Mitch McGovern, he's hit in his last 5, but he's also missed in his last 5. So I'm not that confident for $1.36. Hugo Garcia could be dragged any point. Jackson Binns, again, I don't know enough about, but he has hit 2, but just be wary, like, it's not this year. So those games were in 2024. He hasn't played this year. There's no need, especially when I feel like I've got safer options. I've seen more from Higgins, Wanganeen Miller, and Burns. I know what I'm getting. I feel like they're going to be close regardless. Adam Saad, Marcus Windhager, and Callum Wilkie are all pretty short, which, you know, it's fine. They're all averaging 19 posies. Marcus Windhager, like, he hasn't missed all year despite tagging, and like, him being a tagger just naturally puts me off, because I'm like, oh, I don't want to back a tagger. Their job is to nullify a player, not get the footy themselves, but he's still hitting. So yeah, I don't blame you if you include him. No one else I really like in the 15 posi brackets. Just checking my notes. No, I think I'm all good. In the 20, so fucking no value. And Mateus Philippou, like, this is his first game of the year, right? And he's $1.09. Jeez, like, let's slow down. So I know he had a good run when he's moved into the mid. You know, we'll see what happens. So Hugo Garcia's in there, Jackson McRae. I obviously need to see. There is no point including Philippou. And it's against Carlton, who gets so much of the footy in their mids anyway. Hewitt, Walsh, Cripps, Chera, like they get a lot of footy. So no need at this point. I like Wanganeen Miller, like $1.05, but I mean, look, I also like Sinclair. Like there's a couple here that I do like, but they're absolute like $1.05. I only ever include those if I'm just trying to get over the next dollar value with my bet. Like just say if it's like $3.70 and then $1.05 just gets me over the $4 line, then I might include it. But you know, here, yeah, there's, oh, actually, you know what? I could have included one of them to get over $4, but nonetheless, Adam Chera hasn't missed 20 all year. I've been bullish on him for 25. He's only missed 25 twice this year. He's looked great at Carlton. Well, this year, he's definitely stepped up. Jack Steele has had the 2 misses, but kind of on the decline, I guess. Just a little bit, especially while Jackson McRae's in there getting so much of the footy. So I like Steele, but I just don't have the confidence in him. Like 22 posies. Yeah, like I personally don't have a hard reason why not to, other than 16 posies for someone who you're expecting to get a lot of the footy. Yeah, just not really what I'm after. Otherwise, in the 25 posie bracket, someone who's looking great and I was very tempted to include was George Hewitt for 25. $1.28, 10 out of 10. The only reason I was hesitant and didn't include him is Wintager. So Wintager is going to tag, in my mind, Paddy Cripps. Paddy Cripps has played a lot of forward, while Curnow and Mackay, they were both not playing, but obviously with them back now playing in the same lineup, Cripps goes into the mid. He did it like the other week, got 29, got 24. So with Cripps playing more midfield, yeah, with Curnow, Mackay, back in the forward line, and Jesse Motlop maybe going to have a big one. Yeah, I just can't with certainty just go Hewitt, even though he's 10 out of 10 at $1.28, great value. Even though I think the tag is going to Cripps, I'm just worried that George Hewitt could go 30 plus, or they'll stop him before that happens. But yeah, I can't say for certain the tag won't go on Hewitt, is what I'm trying to say. Wanganeen Miller, though, holy heck, he's had 1 miss this year and it's been 24 posies. He has been freaking super. Everyone could see he was going to just absolutely break out. I mean, probably broken out last year and the year before, but he's just continuing to pop off. So with only 1 miss, and with Jack Sinclair having, you know, like a 20, a 21, he's got a 29 there. But yeah, I really like Wanganeen Miller. He was thrown into the mid a little bit like 2 weeks ago, but I think that was just, I don't know, throw the magnets around when they're losing type deal. But I mean, like worst case scenario, if they're losing and something drastic has to happen, he's going in the mid and not going anywhere else. So yeah, I feel like that's a great outcome. $1.36, I really like. You know, there's Walsh who just missed. McRae, I don't know. Just not enough certainty, especially when he's got a 17 and a 19. One of those games where when he got tagged, the 19 was a quiet one, but yeah, he could easily pop off, but I just don't have... Well, he got 38 the week before. Anyway, I just don't feel it, I guess, with McRae there. He could easily get 25, but... oh, you know what? I could highlight him. I don't have a strong reason not to. It's kind of like Jack Steele. Like, I think they might hit, but just not enough to get me over the line to include them in my bet. But goal scorers, none really here for 1 goal. But if we just go down to the 2-goal bracket, we've got Charlie Curnow, $1.38, Mackay, $1.62, and then Jack Higgins, $1.70, and he's done it 9 out of 10. Completely gone under the radar for me, and like most people as well, $1.70. And like, Carlton are not that great. St Kilda have found a lot of good form recently, like thumping Freo the week before. I think they also, they were okay against, lost by 45 points against Brisbane the week before. I do remember watching that game at Marvel. Got thumped by the Bulldogs. It's not helping my argument, but the point is, Jack Higgins, he has had 3 scoring shots in every game this year, except last week where he just kicked 1 goal. But so every game this year, he's having at least 3 scoring shots, and we're just asking for 2 goals. And he's coming off a miss. He's green and green. I just really like that. I really like Higgins. When I saw that value and those odds, he's averaging 2.6 goals a game. Come on. Jack Higgins, I reckon, to bounce back. I really like that one. And then here, when you see it down here, like green and green, he's coming off a miss. Wanganeen Miller has only had 1 miss this year, you know, because it starts from here onwards. And Ryan Burns has had 1 miss, 13 posies. Like, if Ryan Burns is 1 miss this year, he's missed by 2. Wanganeen Miller has missed by 1. Higgins missed by 1 last week. Otherwise, he's 9 out of 10. It's great to see them all here combined, and yeah, just, you know, really see the risky ones who you like. And yeah, I like all 3 of those. And the great thing is, I only need 3 because, as all bookies are doing at the moment, actually, I think sports bettors, you need 4 legs. Maybe it's 3. Anyway, with Ladbrokes, if you do a 3 leg, same game multi, and if 1 leg fails, you get a bonus bet. And I'm very confident in all those. So I love having a small amount of legs with, you know, decent odds. So yeah, big fan of that one. Anyway, not much else I really want to touch on for this game. Let me just change my screen. Again, without Jono here, I have to do these changes and just yap in the background. But moving on to game 3, which is Melbourne and Hawthorn. First game of Saturday, MCG. So we'll go through my bet. You know, I should organize these at the top of the list, but, you know, we'll organize that for next video. Ed Lang, I haven't got the things here. 15, 15, 20, 20, 20. But yeah, Ed Langdon for 15, Tom McDonald for 15, Petrarca, Amon, Bowie, all for 20. And they're all at least 8 out of 10, Petrarca 10 out of 10, Ed Langdon, hence their shorter odds there. But Tom McDonald getting a lot of the footy in the back line there, right? And his 1 miss this year, well, I think he missed the first or second game of the year. But I was on the fence because I was like, I don't want to go McDonald because he could easily be thrown forward. But then Petty got thrown forward, and now Van Rooyen is playing. So I'm like, okay, I think McDonald is fine in the back line. And he missed last week by 2 posies against West Coast, where, mind you, pretty much all the defenders from Melbourne missed last week. I'm going all over the place, but just bear with me. So Jake Bowie missed. He got 18 posies. Christian Salem missed, got 14 posies. I think there was Stephen May got 10 posies. So, and obviously Tom McDonald missed and got 13 posies. Melbourne's backline, we're not going to get a lot of the footy against West Coast, you know, because obviously West Coast are in shambles. Their mid is garbage. So, yeah, it's very understandable that they're all coming off a miss. And yeah, I really like what I'm seeing of Tom McDonald. I've been too hesitant to include him this year, but the confidence of seeing him not go forward, and when Petty is now out, Van Rooyen is coming in, Van Rooyen. Yeah, I like Tom McDonald in the back line there. Yeah, and actually, let me just go through the rest of the 15. But Ed Langdon there, 10 out of 10, averaging 3 posies in his last 3 games. I feel like he is just an absolute safe lock. And for me, he got me just to the $3.50 line. So I like including him there. Wouldn't really include anyone else. Like Josh Ward's been looking good too. But yeah, you've got Newcomb, Warple. Actually, Cam McKenzie, he's still not playing, right? Jono is very good at keeping on track of the ins, the outs, the role changes, which is great to have him on here. So I've got to try and manage that myself. But yeah, again, there's no need to include. Cozzy Pickett has gone into the 15 posi bracket, and man, I was very tempted. So he missed. The only reason I'm not including him, I was bullish on him 2 weeks ago, right? When he was in the 20 posi bracket. He got 18 and he was shut out in the first quarter because Nathan Broad held him accountable in the Richmond game. And I was like, okay, he's not going to hit 20 in what I thought would be just absolute downhill skiing. And then he gets a 14 in the West Coast game. So arguably the bottom 2 teams this year, and he's not hitting the brackets that I thought he would hit. So now he is in the 15 posi bracket up against Hawthorn. Look, he'll probably turn it on, but I just couldn't quite include him on that point. But I can understand completely if you want to include him for 15 this year, because after that one against West Coast, he otherwise would have hit every game this year. Actually, sorry, he started here at the 20s. So he got 3 20s in a row, 18, 14. Yeah, I like Cozzy Pickett, and he plays a lot of CBAs. So obviously Melbourne need a bit of a spark in the midfield, and he last week played 81%. He got 81 set of bounce attendances, which is huge. Obviously, when you want someone to get the ball, center bounce is the best spot. Only a handful of players in there. Great opportunity to get the footy. So yeah, I like him. Harry Morrison I've highlighted, but I just don't know enough about, so just can't include him. I can't even remember how many games he's played this year, but yeah, haven't really watched much of him, so I can't comment. Caleb Windsor, playing pretty much most of his career on the wing, but now he's playing sort of half back role as well. And yeah, he's getting a lot of the footy I really like. I'm still confident it's not going to impede on McDonald or Bowie. But yeah, Caleb Windsor has been looking great and averaging 19 positives in his last 3, looking huge. So had to highlight him. Tom McDonald I've spoken about. Christian Petrarca, 10 out of 10, $1.10, very short, but again, he's kind of like the Ed Langdon pick as well. Just, I'm very bullish on. Something crazy would happen for him to miss, but it's enough to just sort of get the bet up to slightly better odds. Clayton Oliver, like I've highlighted a bunch here, but it's just trying to pick, the ones you want. So obviously you don't pick them all, but the ones that I've picked out of this bunch, Carl Amon, Carl Amon and Bowie. I really like Warple too, but I just couldn't include all 3 coming off the miss. Look, I was very tempted to, but Carl Amon would have hit every game this year, but he got concussed. Who did Hawthorn play? Richmond? It was the Richmond game, right? So I included his 18, even though he was taken off with concussion, because he pretty much played like the whole game. He didn't play the fourth quarter. Well, all the fourth quarter. He played 66% game time. And he got 18 posies. That is great. That is huge. And we're getting Carl Amon for $1.28, which I love. Look, he's usually like $1.40, but his form's been great. So yeah, I can see it's going down. But I really just expect him to bounce back. Unless he gets concussed again, I reckon he's hitting. Jake Bowie, I mentioned all the Melbourne players had a, couple of posies below their respective bracket. And I just think he's been in insane form before that. 32, 29, 23. I really like Jake Bowie. I've been bullish on him all year, and I pat myself on the back because I was like, we're not going to include him against the West Coast game. I don't see any value. He was like $1.11 or something too, or $1.15. He just shot down in value. Just there's no need to include him at that price, and he's up against West Coast. Now he's missed, and his price has gone back up against Hawthorn, a good team. The ball's going to be in the back line there. Jake Bowie, get back in the bet slip. So I really like that one. Have I spoken about everyone I've included? I think I have. Otherwise, Christian Salem missed. I like Max Gawn. I just can't highlight, even though he's had a monster month, an absolute. Oh, look, I could highlight him. A monster month. It's just hard. I just can't bet on a ruckman for 20 posies. I can't, even though he's averaging 30 in his last. Oh, that's crazy. He's having a great. What do you call the opposite of a purple patch? Is purple patch good or bad? Anyway, he's having a great stretch of form. But yeah, I would rather go more consistent ball getters. Even just anyone who's doing Supercoach as well, he's having monster games. Jai Newcomb I like, just too short. Clayton Oliver, whatever. His posies aren't damaging, but he still gets it. Bit of a basket case at the moment. Don't know what to make of him. Starting the game on the bench as well. Missing for personal reasons. Yeah, I've highlighted him because he's just a ball magnet, but I'd much rather go Petrarca at the moment. Onto the 25. Speaking of Petrarca, I would like him for 25. He's hit his last 4 games, been huge. I don't think Clayton Oliver coming in is going to steal too much of his footy. And Christian Petrarca is getting a lot more CBAs. So to start the year, he was like, around 50%, and he's playing the other 50 in the forward line. Now in his last 4 games, 65, 82, 79, 61%. So he's gone from about 50% to 60 to 80% CBAs, which is fantastic. He's around the ball a lot more. Melbourne need a win. Yeah, so I like Petrarca there. Jai Newcomb, I've highlighted. He can have quiet ones, like a 19, 21, 20, but he also does bounce back like he did last week. So, I mean, if we're playing the pattern game, hit, miss, hit, miss, hit, miss, hit. And so I feel like he'll hit. Yeah, I feel like he's Hawthorn's best mid there as well. So yeah, I like Jai Newcomb, but just couldn't quite include him. Goal scorers, no one here I like, and there's no one for 2 goals, so thought I would just leave that. I mean, I do like Petrarca, but he's playing a bit more mid. So, I mean, yeah, I think he can still hit. He's only missed once this year. I do like Cosy Pickett, but yeah, just the certainty I don't think's there. Anyway, let's move on. So the Essendon Sydney game, which is game 4. Yes. And is the Saturday afternoon. Oh, actually, did I talk about that? No, I did. Yeah, that's confusing. I gotta stop having this down the bottom here because it confused me. It's out of whack. I need to put it to the top. Anyway, the next game, Essendon versus Sydney. Let's go down to who I've selected. We've gone Mason Redman, Nick Blakey for 15, Warner, Shield, Durham, all for 20. Really like them. Durham being 7 out of 10, but he's gone 19, 19. He had a 16. And look, I know, we'll get into him. Let's go back to the 15 posse bracket. So, I really like McInerney and Roberts, really like them. But they're $1.10, so I was like, let's just try and just get it up a little bit. But someone who I like even more than them at the moment is Mason Redmond. So Mason Redmond, it's in my 20 posse bracket, the info about him. Oh, I was very tempted to include him for 20 posies. So he averages 4 kickouts a game, right? He's almost 25% of the way there just from kickouts alone. Now, Ridley is averaging 3.5 kickouts this year. So take those away, where do they go? So last year, Mason Redmond averaged 22 posies without Ridley. The games with Ridley, he's averaging 20. So there's a 2 posie boost without Ridley. The only reason I didn't include Mason Redmond for 20 is because Caldwell's back, Shield's back. So where does Shield go? Shield's not playing in the mid because you got to remember Setterfield's back, and Setterfield didn't play earlier in the year when Caldwell was already there. So Shield might play a bit in the mid, he might, but I also think he will be playing maybe a little bit of halfback. If he doesn't, you've also got to remember Archie Roberts is also having a great year as well. So I don't think he'll take too much of Mason Redmond's chippies, but I just, like for the Essendon game, I just don't know how you can have in the lineups. You've got Caldwell, Durham, Merritt, Setterfield, Shield, Hobbs. Like, they all can't play mid. So I feel like, what are you going to do? Shield, who was getting 20 posies in the half back line, Ridley's out. I just think it makes sense for him to go there. So that's my whole thought process for that one. So I like Mason Redmond for 20, really like him for 20, but I think just to be safe, I've gone for 10. And I've gone Nick Blakey for 10 too. He's only missed 1 game by 1 posie. So yeah, really like the 15 posie bracket there. Setterfield, who I mentioned, I feel like he'll stay in the midfield rotation because he's a defensive mid. I feel like Heaney, Warner need to be somewhat accountable, and I think Setterfield will have a body on them. And by the way, like Setterfield's CBAs are huge. So Setterfield, he 69, 84, well, he had a 53 against Collingwood, but then 77 against North. So he is playing that midfield role anyway. Dylan Shield midfield role is 50% or 56, 57. So I think they will definitely need someone on Heaney or Warner. So which is why I've highlighted Setterfield. I still think he'll be around there. And Ollie Florent, who's only missed twice this year, but he only missed twice in his whole 2024 season. So does that mean he's going to go the whole 2025 season without having a miss now because he's already got his 2 misses out of the way? Not fully sure. But yeah, so as well, what helps his case, he had a 23 and a 20 posie game against Essendon last year. So not only was he 21 out of 23 last year with those 2 misses, he also had 2 20-plus posie games against Essendon. So I really like Ollie Florent, and I'm starting to think why I didn't include him, but I do remember now. So if we go to the 20 posie bracket, the one I'm including, and you're probably all going to be like, what the fuck, why are you including Sam Durham? Yes, I know he's had 2 misses at 19, but Caldwell coming back, I believe, actually helps him. So there is a big Setterfield's there as well, but when Caldwell was in round like 1, 2, and 3, Sam Durham hit 20 in all of them. I think it was the 23, 21, 28 posies. So yeah, I like Durham. His CBAs might not be as strong. So yeah, 65, 68, 77%. But I feel like him coming off half forward, playing around the ball anyway, I don't think there's much issue there. I really like Durham, and he did bounce back last week. And I just think Durham is going to average like 23 posies for the year. His 2 misses have been very close, just by like a slight lack of bench time or a slight lack of game time. He was on the bench for 10 minutes in the 4th, or I really like Durham. So who else did I include? Yeah, Shield, who I mentioned, is back. So he got a 19 on his miss, but you got to think why that miss was. So in that game against, I forgot who it was against. Anyway, but the game, who was it against? Hold on, let me check. I got to remember who it was against. It was 2 weeks ago. Essendon or Collingwood. Okay, the Anzac Day game. Okay, so yeah, he only played 65% game time in that one because he was cramping in the fourth and he didn't return. So, like I said, I don't really care where he plays. If it's halfback, which I think he might be because Caldwell's back, Setterfield's back, Ridley's out, I don't know, I think that makes sense. If he's playing halfback or mid, he's every chance to get 20 posies. I really like Dylan Shield, and he got a 19 with 65% time on ground. So yeah, I just think that is great. And his other miss as well, I think that was early this year or late last year at 19. So his two misses, 19, 19. I think Dylan Shield's great. I've spoken about Warner and Heaney in previous videos, but yeah, I really like both of them. They play a lot in the mid. Warner's 10 game was against North Melbourne, where he was apparently sick and got tax subbed. So every other game he's hit, which I've included. For me, Warner is like almost a layup at this point. I think he's great. Heaney, I was tossing between, but I feel like if Setterfield is to do a light... Durham played on Nick Dacos and Anzac Day. I thought it would be more of a Setterfield thing, but if whoever's giving him attention, I think it'll be going to Heaney. That's my guess anyway. Nick Martin, 9 out of 10, huge, half forward around the ball, just great runner. And someone you want to get a lot of the footy is someone who runs, spreads the ground, makes space, never sort of just stands around with hands on hips. Someone who will, no. Like they'll come to the footy, make space, provide an option for a cheap posie. Love cheap posies. So yes, he is down a little bit, but obviously he's not doing that half back role anymore. But I still like Nick Martin. Justin McInerney, I've highlighted for 20. Huge couple of weeks, but yeah, just I don't know if I'm ready to take that leap yet, but I think if you were to take the leap, I think now is the week without Mills. Obviously no Goulden still for another month or so, but Justin McInerney is looking great there in the mid for Sydney. Archie Roberts. So I spoke about Mason Redman. The same principle just applies to Archie Roberts. So takes only like one kick out or so. Like he doesn't get his posies from kick outs. But look, in his last 5 games, 4 of them he's hit over 20. Been insane. I think he's the one who also benefits from the Ridley loss. The only reason I'm more bullish on Redman is just the kickouts. So, like I know I've said as well not to rely on kickouts for all your posies, but Mason Redman's going to have like 7-8 posies from kickouts alone. I'm very tempted for Mason Redman for 20. Very tempted. Anyway, this is not the Mason Redman podcast. So, in the 20 posi bracket, I've got 25. I've got Zach Merritt for 25, highlighted as orange because where's James Jordan going to play? Or who's he going to play on? Zach Merritt. I don't think you're not going to put him on Caldwell in his first game back. And Zach Merritt is way more damaging and gets a lot of the footy. Caldwell's great, don't get me wrong. Durham's good too, but Zach Merritt breaks the game open. The skipper, I feel like that's just without question. I've also highlighted, Caldwell for 25, like him, but, done a hammy, been out for a month because of that hammy. Let's just wait and see. But I do like him nonetheless. For goals, I don't know, no one. I mean, I like Heaney, I like Warner, not for the price, not for those odds. Pretty sure Warner's kicked a point in everyone he's missed, so, but yeah. No, Nick Martin's looked good too, coming off half forward. Not as much certainty as I do with the posi getters. So yeah, not much to speak about for goals. Let's move on to game 5, which is the Saturday night one, Doggies versus Gold Coast. Let's go straight to the ones I've included again. It's very weird. We've got to bypass it all. But the risky one here that we've got, John Noble for 25. He has, well, I don't think it's risky, but John Noble for 25. Then we've got Richards, Dale, and Anderson for 20. So, like I said, I only include these red odds if I want to try and get over the money bracket, and that was to get me over to $4. And then Johannesson and Joel Frazier for 15. So we'll speak about those in their respective brackets. Joel Frazier, so he has been great. So he did play a little bit in the back line, but he's also rotating through the mid, playing a bit more mid, and I was worried he wasn't going to get a lot of the footy when Treloar came into the team last week. I know Treloar played a bit of forward, but he was also around the ball a lot of it. But so Joel Frazier's CBAs the week before were at 40%. Then they went down to 20 because Treloar's back. Now Treloar's out. I like Joel Frazier. And again, someone to include just to get me over the... I've done that for Anderson, but yeah, I really like Joel Frazier. 10 out of 10. And again, doesn't really matter where he plays. Even in his down games, he was getting 16, 15, 17. When he's in the mid, 24, 27, 19. Doggies get a lot of the footy. I just think Raoul's not in great form. Like Anderson's doing as much as he can. Doggies, mids, just feast. They always get a lot of the footy. So yeah, I like Joel Frazier. Braden Fiorini, he's tearing up in the VFL or the whatever you call it, the twos. But just no need to include him. Bailey Williams I really like. One miss has been 14. Great in the back line there. Harms is good. He's getting so much of the footy. I just can't believe it. Doggies get a lot of the footy. I don't have a valid reason not to go for Harms. He's getting so much of it, other than just it's just hard when you've got other picks that you're more comfortable on. Lockie Bramall, speaking of being comfortable, because I'm not comfortable on Bramall anymore. We've got him for $1.40 last week. Great. To be honest, he probably could have got more. I think he got like 2 posies in the last quarter, and he hit with like 10 minutes to go, and he still didn't get another posie. Missed by 14. He had an absolute outlier, but he's with an 8 posie, but he's done that before, so I don't want to hold him, too accountable for that. But just what I'm noticing is a lot, especially with Johannesson back, there's not much need for Bramall to get the footy and make space. I think he's just there for the defensive role. Yeah, he takes a couple of kickouts as well, but you know how many he took last week? He took none. So Bailey Dale took 8. And before that, Lockie Bramall usually takes 5, but that was before Johannesson. Johannesson's come back, and Rory Lobb's also come back in defense, mind you, taking kickouts. It's leaving nothing for Bramall. And again, I can't really rely on him if he's not getting the kickouts. Don't know what to make of that. Rory Lobb's taking kickouts. I think Rory Lobb only played forward just for like a little bit anyway. That was with the Sam Darcy injury, but sorry, I'm getting sidetracked. Point is, Bramall I don't think he's consistently getting the footy when Dale, Johannesson are very hungry. Like, they are hungry backmen for footy, so Bramall doesn't have to do anything. And I don't want to be betting on someone who's not hungry and making space. The only reason he's getting the ball is if he's beating his defender one-on-one, or maybe a kick-out receive, but even then, he's not really. Tim English, great form, huge form, but just be wary. Jared Witts, he has been the ruck killer this year. He's kept off the top of my head, it was like Nank down. Was it Marshall or far out? Usually I would check these stats while Jono's talking. But yeah, I just don't want to go Tim English when Jared Witts has been nullifying ruckman this year. I've highlighted him because he's averaging 22 in his last 3. Like, that's insane, but I just don't know if I can go that. Johannesson, though, so someone who I was worried on, but I've included. Speaking of Bramall not being that keen for the footy, Johannesson he's looking fantastic. He had that very quiet one to start. It was his first game back of the year where he got a 9, but he's gone 25, 15, 17, and he might be taking like a kick out here or there, but I feel like he's that run and carry player. They want, the footy in if, Dale's not there doing it. So yeah, I just like Johannesson over Bramall. It's very close, but I just like what I'm seeing of Johannesson more, even though the stats are kind of very similar. Joel Jeffrey I liked, and he bounced back. He's great there for 15 posies. He's probably my second favorite behind John Noble. The only reason I haven't really included him is because my risky one is John Noble for 25, but we'll get to it. Bodie Euland's been fantastic all year, but I just, he's had a couple of misses, sorry. But I just can't include Noble, Jeffrey, or Dan Rioli, or Will Powell. Like, the point is, it's like I can only include like one backman there from Gold Coast, because I swear to God, every time I do 2, the other 2 hit or something. So I've just gone bullish in one backman for Gold Coast. Into the 20 posi bracket, Tom Liberatore, I've highlighted, way too short odds. Wish he was up higher. He just missed last week, but now there's no Treloar. I think he's just going to hit no matter what. Bontempelli still gets a bunch of the footy, playing mid, forward, doesn't matter. John Noble, his price for 20 is pretty much gone, which is what's led me for the 25 posi bracket push. Bailey Dale, 10 out of 10, reliable, hungry. His stinkers are 20 posies and his good games are 30 plus. So he's, like I said, he got 8 kickouts last week. He's usually only getting like anywhere between 4 and 6. So he's already a quarter of the way there from kickouts alone, even on a bad game. Ed Richards has been looking like the doggies' best midfielder, which is insane. Like, because obviously, like, Bont is like one of the best players in the game, but Ed Richards has been fantastic. And again, there's no Treloar, so I think we can still take Ed Richards for $1.20. Like, there's no value in Libba or Bont. Like, yeah, the value's there in Richards, who's looking great. Flanders, Matt Kennedy, he hasn't missed this whole time he's been playing at the doggies. I'm surprised I haven't included him. Matt Rowell has, regressed a little bit to his old form of 2024. He started the year off great in the 25 posi bracket, but it's not there now. Sam Flanders, he's playing a bit high half forward, but he will roll in with the mids, so I do actually like him there. Green and green, even though obviously his centre bounce attendance mid roll is not there from last year. I feel like, some of it's going to Bailey Humphries, but if he's not in that role and he's still hitting 20, I just don't want to be discouraged by that 13 posies. But yeah, otherwise, hard to say no to. But like I said, I can only include so many risky ones, and the risky one I've gone is Johnny Noble. Riley Sanders, I think this could be one last week to push for 20 plus. Obviously, like I said, there's no Treloar, so I feel like it gives a lot of the doggies mids just a little bit more security. So yeah, I like Riley Sanders. Otherwise, had 5 in a row of 20 plus, and he's $1.67. There's a lot of good risky, not necessarily risky. There's a lot of good value picks here, but I just can't include them all. And look, let's go to the 25 posi bracket. John Noble $1.70. So he is the best value there. And yes, I know it's 5 out of 10, but out of his last 6 games, he has just missed once, and he got 20 posies. I'm pretty sure was at 19. I'm pretty sure Gold Coast have only played 1 less game. So since he's joined Gold Coast, he's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 7 for 25 plus. Like, and he's hitting his last month of footy. He's averaging 27.5, getting a bunch of kickouts. Again, it's not all about kickouts, but it's just the handball receives, the distributor. Like, when I was worried earlier in the year with Dan Rioli in the back line, not to mention Will Powell, Ewell, Joel Jeffrey, like, what the fuck? There's so many there to get a bunch of kicks. But Johnny Noble, 7 kickouts last week, or 3, 4, 6. He had a 1, but even in that one game, that was round 4. That was, actually, ironically enough, that was when he missed. John Noble is just insanely hungry. Great kicker. I feel like they want the ball in his hands. And just I'm back on that kick out topic. Like, when the ball's kicked for a point, like, he will go down and make sure to get that footy. The only reason he's not taking the kick out is if he's on the bench, or I don't know, he's stuffed from a run, or he's on the 50-meter line. But yeah, he's the guy hungry to take the kick outs, telling other people to fuck off. I'm just so bullish on John Noble right now. He is looking great at Gold Coast. Otherwise, Noah Anderson, he hit for us last week, 25, but I just don't have that confidence when he's going against the Bulldogs, who just get so much the footy. I'm so bullish on John Noble. And like I said, the rest, so despite, just let me skip the goal scorers for a second. Look at everyone else we've included, right? Just to help that John Noble point. 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10, and the rest are all 10 out of 10s. Like, Jason Johannesson has just had that one stinker to start the year. Everyone else has hit. And then John Noble, yes, is 5 out of 10, but it's actually like 5 for 7 if you exclude all those Collingwood games last year. So I'm very bullish on John Noble. I like the bet. I like how we've got the value here for one player, and then that allows us to be a lot safer with the rest of them. Because, like, you could easily include like Lockie McNeil for a goal here, who's kicked 1 in every game this year, same as Riley West. Just quickly touch on the goal scorers while we're at it. You could include Sam Flanders, Joel Jeffrey, but I just don't think there's need to when we've already gone one risky one. So maybe if you guys aren't as bullish on John Noble as I am, if you think you see value in Sam Flanders or Riley Flanders, I don't have anything to say about that, because I think both of them could hit. I just can't do it when I'm going all chips on Noble, baby. So anyway, let's go to the other game on Saturday night, which is the Port Adelaide versus Adelaide game. So again, I've done this one on Sportsbet because all the other bets I've done are all covered by a bet refund, and it's a great point to just ram the point home that all the bets you should do should be covered. Let's go to our who we've included at the bottom. So look at this, damn, 10 out of 10, 9, 9, 7, 9. So Josh Worrell has been in insane form. Great, like obviously 10 out of 10, not much more you can say, but averaging 21 posi in his last 3, He has looked great in the back line there. Intercept marks, solid. Like, he's taken interviews with the media. Dawson has given him pats on the back. Like, yeah, he is just fitting in so well, just as a player, a person, and at Adelaide. So just really like that. Just a little bit of value in him still. He's not $1.36 anymore, but $1.18, we can take that. Rory Laird and Jordan Dawson are kind of similar in my opinion, where I feel like their value compared to their form is just too good. Like, usually I wouldn't go both of them, or I'd include Dawson, but like they're 9 out of 10. They average pretty much in the 25 posi bracket for each of them, and I was able to get them for $1.20 and 24 in the 20 posi bracket, which I think is just like, I just couldn't leave that. So took them both. Zach Butters, who has just had the one miss this year, and it was by one posi last week in that demolition job against Western Bulldogs. So like I've been saying, doggies get a lot of the footy just in my last one. I think showdown type thing, Saturday night, Zach Butters, if his bad game, he's getting 24 posies, he's bouncing back. I love a player off a miss, and his form this year has been insane. Like him, Bont, Dacos, like Dacos is probably lucky Butters and Dacos. Nick Dacos is lucky that Butters and like Bont started the year with an injury, because yeah, these guys have been red hot form. Like, these guys would arguably be Brownlow favourites at this point if they played every game. Onto the last one, Ben Keys. So I think I've jumped ship on that Ben Keys 15 posi bracket. So as if you've watched the other videos, you'll know I bet on Ben Keys for 15 posies the last 2 weeks, and he's missed. He's kicked a goal in all but one, and he actually kicked a point in one of those. I'm just taking Ben Keys for posies at this. Sorry, I'm not taking him for posies. I'm taking him for a goal at this rate, because I'm going to quickly check this while I'm talking. Ben Keys. I can't multitask very well, so I'm just letting you know what I'm doing. I'm pretty sure I wrote the stats down. Oh, it's over here. I was like, I swear I wrote this down. Only missed a goal in 6 of them. Oh, sorry. So in 31 games, he's only not had a scoring shot in 2 of them. And out of those 31 games, he's only missed a goal in 6 of them. So Keys, oh no, I could just break this down so you can actually see what I'm talking about. Where the fuck is that wrap thing? Here we go. In 31 games, so that's all of last year and this year, he's only not had a scoring shot in 2 of them. And then he's missed a goal in 6. So he's 25 for 31 for anytime goal. I just think that is great for Ben Keys, and I'm just going to go for him for a goal. This is never usually my point of view. I would rather go for slowly chipping away than the one strike opportunity. But Ben Keys in these last couple of weeks has been playing a lot of forward, especially in the first half, and he gets fuck all posies. It's not until he's kind of thrown on ball or on the wing, not really on ball, it's more the wing, and then his posies start to go up. But if he's playing on the wing, that's still a great opportunity for a goal scorer, because when the ball's turned over on one side of the ground, the winger's the one doing the gut running. He's making space. Yes, he does get burnt a little bit because he's a gut runner, but 9 out of 10, $1.40. Yeah, I'm going Ben Keys for a goal this week, not posies. So anyway, let's go back to the 15 posi bracket, because I was speaking about them for too long. Josh Worrell, who I have mentioned, which is great, 10 out of 10. Would have highlighted Jason Burgoyne actually, but just a bit more confidence in Worrell. Willem Drew had that one stinker. I think that was against Sydney, was it? I won't check, but usually plays like a soft sort of tagging role. I say soft because he usually gets 15 posies himself, which I really like. I would have included, but he's 9 out of 10. I think that 9 scared me, and I see his average of 14 posies over his last 3 games. But yeah, I like Willem Drew. Bergman. Okay, so like another pat on our back time. We were getting Miles Bergman for $1.40 plus. As soon as he goes to $1.10, like he got injured or something, that's unlucky. But his other misses have been genuine misses. So 12, 11, 14. He's missed in his last 3. I think it's 4 with that injury, right? Miles Bergman, Supercoach. Because I don't think I included that injury game. Yeah, I didn't. So he got 7 in that Hawks game where he got injured. So he's had 3 genuine misses in a row, right? And we have not bet on him because his odds have been too short. Now his odds are back at what I usually bet on, $1.40 plus. I think that is freaking awesome. Oh, man, that is awesome. I like those odds for him, but just coming off 3 misses, obviously, you know, he's averaging 12 in his last 3. Not great. The point of this rambling is we've held off when his odds went down, and subsequently he's had down form. His odds are back up. This is just a great opportunity to jump on him at the odds he should be at. Even though I haven't, I like other options better at this point. But yeah, I like Miles Bergman. Good player, club likes him. What can you say? Ben Keys, the most burnt man in the club. I just don't want to back him again and watch him have another fucking 1 posi quarter. I can't do it. So I would much rather him have a strike opportunity for a goal. I don't want to watch him come back from halftime and play catch up the whole way. So yeah, I've gone him for a goal, but I don't think he's going to miss 3 in a row, especially when he was so consistent before that. So yeah, I like Ben Keys playing high half forward, wing. So he has every chance to get the footy. I like Ben Keys. Luke Nankervis. So I haven't included his sub game. So he got subbed 2 weeks ago as a tax sub. Was it that Freo game? Yeah, where he got subbed off, which I was very surprised. But a lot of the Adelaide players just missed. I think that was the game Rankin got 19 posies. But yeah, then he actually missed against Carlton last week. So he played 50%. Oh, hold on. Sorry, I keep moving this around. Here we go. Played 50% game time. So he was tax subbed, score excluded. I don't think that happens again, but it sucks having that risk there. So yeah, I thought the sub risk opportunities, the sub risk was gone from Nank. But yeah, it's still there. So I like his role, halfback, wing as well. Yeah, his misses have been very close as well. But I just don't know if I can just go him, especially when I've got like Dawson, Laird, Butters, like just absolute solid names. So 3 players I'm very bullish on, but I've just picked others at the moment. So don't blame me for any of those. Hornet has been great in the mid, especially with Connor Rosie in the back line now. So, and with Butters back, he's hitting, and Wine's there too. It doesn't matter. Hornet has been great. I think even in his purple, in his crap patches earlier in the year where his body language was down, just having that 1 miss is, you know, pretty good. So if his bad game is he's getting 17 posies, yeah, the rest I'll take. 22, 28, 29. I like Hornet for 20, but Rory Laird being 9 out of 10. Same with Jordan Dawson. Jordan Dawson's 1 miss has been 19 posies. Rory Laird's been 16. Rory Laird doesn't get like any kickouts, so again, I'm not looking at him for kickouts, but just a great handball receive, switch the play defender there. So I think he'll be fantastic. And Jordan Dawson in the showdown, I feel like the skipper is going to step up. And so I've been betting on Rankin, I think pretty much every game this year. This is the first time I'm not betting on Rankin, and it's because I think he might just cop some light Willem Drew tag. And I was a bit like, oh, it's not going to happen, about the Toby Bedford tag like 2 weeks ago. No, or was it last week? Oh, I get confused with all the games going on. Isaac. And again, sorry I got to do this live. But Isaac Rankin just having that 1 miss. That was the Freo game, I'm pretty sure. And then he got 29 against GWS. Oh, that was 3 weeks ago. He got 20 against GWS. But he was getting tagged by Bedford for half the game. Bedford obviously went off. Or I think the tagging role kind of just stopped and Rankin played more forward. Anyway, so Rankin having 29 against Carlton last week, I just am a little bit worried. Like, I don't think Ken Hinckley is just going to let Rankin do what he wants. And if they are going to tag someone, it's going to be Rankin. Whereas I thought it was always going to be Dawson. And plus, Rankin has the chance to play a bit more forward, even though Dawson actually did last week too. Just the point is, I've backed Rankin so much, and I'm just a little worried that he might miss, especially after coming off a great game. He's going to cop attention in the spotlight of the showdown. So, yeah, I've just left him. And look, when you got Roy Laird and Jordan Dawson there, 9 out of 10, $1.20, I just feel like I just don't have to take a risk. Even though Rankin's not much of a risk, but this year for 20, previously yes, but this year is looking a lot better. In the 25, Zach Butters, I think I spoke about before, coming off that 1 miss, which was 24 in that demolition against the Doggies. I think he's going to get so much of the footy in his games to start the year, like 30, 33, 27, huge. I'm definitely backing him off that 1 miss last week. And Connor Rosie, 4 in a row. That half-back move has been fantastic. Yes, he did play a little bit of mid against the Doggies, but it was kind of like well, we've lost this anyway. Let's just try and stop the bleeding a bit. So I think in Port's proper lineup, he's going back to half-back, and he'll get a lot of the footy. Oh, actually, wait, was that? Yeah, that was the Doggies game. Far out. Yeah, Connor, anyway, I'm pretty sure that 29, he still hit. Even though the Doggies were getting so much of the footy and Port weren't, I'm glad we backed Connor. But now we're switching that and going Butters. I love doing this. So we backed Connor last week. Butters missed. Now we're going to back Butters. And hopefully roles reverse. And Butters hits Connor. Well, I hope Connor hits. Goal scorers. Taylor Walker, Josh Rochelle, Isaac Rankin, Ben Keys. Isaac Rankin, who, great value. But just with his more midfield minutes, I would rather go someone who's going to play more in the forward line, and that's Ben Keys, $1.40, 9 out of 10. Huge. Just while I'm speaking, I'm just going to quickly look at Ben Keys, because I think I said that stat where in every miss... No, I have. I've got it written here, yeah. So, in every game this year, he's always had a scoring shot, which is fantastic. So that one miss 2 weeks ago, he kicked a point. He's going to have opportunities. He's going to have probably 2 scoring shots in the showdown. Let's hope one of them's a goal. Rochelle hasn't missed 10 out of 10. I think he's only had like maybe 3 games since coming back. But yeah, I'm just on the Ben Keys train at the moment. My eyes have been fixated on him. Taylor Walker, 10 out of 10. Kind of looking pretty good for the old guy at the moment. But $1.19. I've got other big names I have in this bet, so I don't need to include him. Yeah, otherwise, a couple of goal scorers from this one. I like Ollie Lord too. He's coming off a miss. Hornet. I'm glad we jumped off Hornet when we did. We were bullish on him for goals. Then we switched to posies. And yeah, I am bullish for Hornet too, actually. Maybe it's that Connor Rosey move to half back. As soon as he's gone to half back, it means Hornet has to play more mid. Sorry, I'm just thinking about that now. But anyway, let's move on to the first game of Sunday. Holy fuck, this game looks shithouse to bet on. Look, it gives me fuck all to pick from. Like, look, you can see the 15 and the 20 posi bracket in the same screen. And look at the 25 posi bracket. Like, they just don't give you all the players. So if I was to bet, I have this one here. Hopper, Marek, Nank, and Baker. But what I've also done is I've also got another one because I couldn't quite make my mind up. Jamie Cripps. So he has gone 9 out of 10. I'm pretty sure he kicked a goal in every game this year. Or that one, I think he might have started the year off with a miss. But he's versing Richmond, right? So I've been too, shy or too timid to bet on Jamie Cripps for a goal scorer because he's, playing for West Coast. And I don't want to back a goal scorer from like one of the bottom teams who score like 50 to 70 points every week, right? I feel like that's pretty low scoring. But against Richmond, yes, it's at the MCG. I just think Jamie Cripps, if there's any time for me to bet on him for a goal scorer, it's this one. So yeah, if we're saying that, we're looking at this bet, but I am still very bullish on Hopper. So pretty much just the difference between these two is pretty much Jamie Cripps for a goal, which is this one, or it is Toby Nankervis to bounce back for 15 posies. So I'm not going to go both, but the one I've got down here is if we bet on Jamie Cripps. So the one risky one is Hopper, but this year, in his last month and a half, his one miss has been by 2 posies. Jacob Hopper has been huge, and I think he's just a ball magnet over Tim Taranto at the moment. So I am very big on Jacob Hopper. Baker has not missed since playing for the Eagles, and Ryan Marek, as soon as he came in for that in the back line, the game against Brisbane, he has not missed 20. There's no McGovern. I'm very bullish on Ryan Marek for even 25 at this point, but we're just going to go... Yeah, I don't think we have to with this leg at the moment. So Ryan Marek for 20 and Jane Short, fuck you. I swear, I'm very bullish on Jane Short for 20 plus, but not really anymore. He's got 16 and a 15 in his last 3 games, but this is like the first time I could ever get him for 15 posies. So I'm like, just get in here for now. But yeah, so we'll go with Jane Short. Again, that's for this bet. I'm going to do a post on Sunday to maybe update this because this is pathetic. Can't bet on anyone for this one. Yeah, Dow short, I like, just too short. Trainer and Banks. Trainer, the rookie playing halfback, has been fantastic, and Banks, a year or two in the mid, great. Harley Reid coming off a miss. Only worry is if he plays too much in the forward line. If he plays in the forward line, he gets 1 or 2 posies. He's thrown in the mid, posies go up. So I like that, but yeah, we'll see. And Nanker's coming off a miss, and he's versing Flynn. Flynn's still playing, right? Yep. So Matty Flynn will be in the ruck. He got his butt kicked to him by Max Gawn last week, but I just think Toby Nankervis is a good ruckman himself, and I just think he should get 15 against Matty Flynn. In the 20 posi bracket, we got Baker and Marek, who I've included. Been very bullish on both of them. I just said Baker hasn't missed all year playing for West Coast, and Marek, since going into that defender, kick-out role, backline distributor, huge. Been fantastic, and there's no Jeremy McGovern. So I've highlighted Nick Blossom for 20, but look, he's going against West Coast, and if we learn anything from that Melbourne West Coast game last week, that the backline players don't get it. I know Richmond aren't the caliber team of Melbourne, even though Melbourne have only won a couple themselves, but yeah, I just don't know if I can be going a defender against West Coast at the moment. Tim Taranto and Hopper, I could definitely go the midfielders, but I just find myself liking Jacob Hopper a bit more than Taranto. Currently, and goal scorers, I mentioned Crisp. Yeah, it's very weird. Maybe I do it at the very end where I go through all this. I'm just figuring this out on the fly. It's like, maybe I don't speak to this first because it throws everything else out of whack. Anyway, this game's a bit botched anyway. I can't bet on many people, so I'll have a bet in the post section for that. Game 8, which is the Geelong... Oh, okay. The Geelong GWS game. So usually I don't bet on the game straight away, but man, I found some good value here. So we'll go through it and then show it all at the end. Grind Myers coming back from getting fucking whacked to the face by Connor Nash. So I hope Grind Myers is okay, but he's only got two 14s. He's great. Great inside 50 delivery. I think he will find a lot of it at Kardinia Park. Connor Iden has only had like 1 miss in like 25 games. Like, yeah, what more can you say? Fantastic. In the half, in the back line, back pocket, will beat his man in a marking contest. Will provide an option. Like, GWS provide so many like runners off halfback. Lockie Whitfield, Ash, Himmelberg to an extent, and Connor Iden. They love to move the ball, rotate it, run and carry. Connor Iden will sometimes be in that chain, or he'll kick it to Lockie Ash or Whitfield, who will run and find the harder kick. Or speaking of someone in the back line there too, Harry Himmelberg. I've been very bullish on him for 20. He's in the 15 posi bracket. Get in my bet. I really like Harry Himmelberg. I was off him for 20, but his last month, he's had that 1 miss by 14 posies. I think 15 posies is not much to ask from Himmelberg. And someone who I've watched in the past, I just think I just had to include him. It's the first time I've ever seen him for this price in 15 posies. So anyway, Sean Manor for 15 posies. So I reckon he might step up a bit because there's no Lawson Humphries this week and still no Tom Stewart. I feel like Holmes is going in the back line. Look, I don't think Sean Manor gets any CBAs really, but he plays around all the stoppages, comes in from high half forward. He's 1 miss this year, has been 13 posies. It's at home. I like Sean Manor. So $1.35 for 9 out of 10, I think is great odds when they're going to have to do some other changes to compensate for the backline losses. Tom Atkins, yeah, I like, but he gets a lot of CBAs playing that defensive mid role, but he's had a good patch of form, but can also have quiet ones. Ollie Dempsey, just like the Miles Bergman pick, we pat ourselves on the back for this one. We usually get we usually get Ollie Dempsey for like $1.40, which is what he's at the moment. He went down to like $1.20. I'm like, no, we don't need that. He's a $1.40 player. He's missed his last 2. He's back up to $1.40. All the signs are saying jump on him, but I haven't because I've included him for goal, but we'll get to. Paddy Dangerfield and Jacob Ware. Paddy Dangerfield, an insane game. Insane. So he's only missed 2 this year, a 12 and a 13. He looked just insane. Oh my God. Yeah, Paddy Dangerfield is still scary at that age. Just an absolute bull. I just hope he doesn't rest forward or too much and he still plays around the stoppages and like, the game's on the line against GWS at home. I just think he is going to be very strong. And look, his misses have been very close too anyway. It's just when he's playing like 90% in the forward line is just a little bit of a worry. Jacob Ware, on the other hand, hasn't missed this whole year playing for the Giants, playing a sort of wing role and great runner. So he'll get kicks in the half back line. He also had a shot as well. set shot last week. So yeah, I like Jacob Ware. He looks like a skinnier, smaller Harry Himmelberg. So yeah, if you got them both in your bet, you're just going to be happy if one of them touch it. So yeah, I really like Ware, especially for that price. That's crazy. No one else really I like there. And remember too, this is a Sunday game, so not everyone's included in the bet thing. Finn Callahan's a bit too short, but 9 out of 10. Max Holmes. So I don't really care where Max Holmes plays. If he's in the back line, if he's in the mid, I still think he's good for 20. His misses were the game against St Kilda when he got tagged and all of Geelong got not much of the footy. I can't remember what his other miss was. I'm pretty sure it was the tagging role from Sparrow against Geelong in GMHBA. Oh, my memory still works. Yes, it was the Saints and the Demons games where he both missed. But if there's no tag, which I don't want to say there won't be. There's no Toby Bedford, of course, but I just don't think Adam Kingsley is just going to be like, all right, we've got no tag, let's just let him run free. And that kind of more applies to Bailey Smith. So Bailey Smith hasn't missed all year. Going up against a Toby Bedford-less GWS, it sounds too good to be true, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, no tagger, he can do what he wants. I still think they'll have, I don't know who, someone's going to, like even last night, like Corey Wagner, who I've like never seen tag before. He played a tagging role on Nick Dacos. And I just don't want to say there's no tagger because something could change. There'll be a play that the coach has drawn up like, oh, fuck, you there. You jump on him all this week. Like, hopefully it's no one we're betting on, but yeah. But even still, like, Bailey Smith, I'm kind of contradicting myself. He hasn't missed all year. So even though there's no Toby Bedford, I still think there might be a bit of attention to him. But I've got him for 25 at home. Hasn't missed. No reason for us to like not bet on him. And even though I was just saying that he might get attention, one of the best taggers isn't playing. So I'm kind of, arguing with myself on that point. But yeah, I like Bailey Smith. Ryan Myers can have quiet ones, but yeah, otherwise gets around 20 to 22 posies I like. Tom Green, bit too short. Goal scorers, Adam Cadman. Oh, so Ollie Dempsey. What the frick? So in his 2 games where he hasn't kicked a goal, he's kicked a point in each of them. Love him for having a scoring shot regardless and playing that wing role. When he's not on the wing, he'll be like chilling in half forward, taking screamers. $1.46. I wish we took him for $1.80, but he's still great value at $1.46. So I've included him. And someone who I was going to include for goal scorers, Jesse Hogan, kicked 1 last week. So could have easily kicked 2, could have maybe kicked 3 from that one on the boundary, but he missed an easy one in the second quarter. Hogan, I think, will come back and kick 2, but I've just gone Ollie Dempsey instead. And when you see everyone included together, like, I think that is just great. All 9 out of 10s, 8, 7, 8. Well, the 7 is actually, that could be easily a 10 because Bailey Smith hasn't missed this year. So I really like Bailey Smith. So imagine if that like is a 10. We've got Harry Himmelberg who's missed by 1, Sean Manor by 2. I reckon he'll play a lot more around the ball. Connor Iden has missed 1 game in 20. Ollie Dempsey has always had a scoring shot. I just think that is just fantastic. The players we're betting on there. Jacob Ware hasn't missed all year for the Giants. I feel like all that is just very huge. None of them have missed in their last 3 weeks. I like that one so much. So I had to bet on that one already. Yeah, anyways, that's the Cats GWS game. Moving on to the North and Brisbane game. I've also bet on this one because there's actually some good form, good odds. But like all the other Sunday games, not everyone's here. It's very bare. Who I've included, so Jai Simpkin, I've been bullish on for 20. You can already see him here. He's green and green, $1.62, 9 out of 10. His 1 miss has been 19. It's up against a very hungry Lions mid. You got Neil, Ashcroft, McCluggage, Dunkley, the other Levi Ashcroft. Yeah, so much of the footy there to contend with. I just don't know if I can go Jai Simpkin, especially when he hit for us last week and really just pulled it out of his ass. I'm sick of seeing Jai Simpkin be on 7 posies at halftime. So that's why I've gone for 15 for him. I'm like, all right, I'll be conservative for Jai Simpkin because all the other bets we've picked, I feel like we're being conservative and getting good value. So when I say conservative, we haven't taken any crazy risks. Everyone I've selected has just been good value, which, fuck it, I'll just show you now while I'm talking about. Look at all that. Like, what in the... That is wild. That is wild. All 10 out of 10. Look at all this green, baby. and pretty much 4 of them are in the $1.20 posi bracket. I just couldn't leave them. Dane Zorko is 1 cent off from being $1.20. Like, that is crazy. Jai Simpkin, who I just sort of threw in to get us over $3.50. But yeah, that is insane. No way any of them are going to miss, right? Very good odds there. Darcy Wilmot, $1.24. Back him every day of the week. He's usually $1.10. Don't know why he's $1.24. I know it's in Tassie. Unless it's fucking blowing a gale where you can't hit a target. I've liked Darcy Wilmot. Going to take kickouts too. Jared Berry on the wing. I've been bullish on him for 20 posies in the past, but Lions mid is stacked. So him on the wing, well, I know he's not in the mid, but him on the wing, 15 should be a layup. I like Cherry. He's going up against the Big O, who just notoriously doesn't get much of the footy. But he's had a couple of great games, and we've backed him in those games. Let's just go value here. I feel like he might just still be a bit too risky. And the value here in the 20 posi bracket, Zorko, Dunkley, Daniel, like Caleb Daniel, you'll know I've been bullish on for 25. His form has dropped off a little bit. I know Sheasel's gone in the back line there, not taking all his kickouts, but also taking handball receives and being the distributor. And yes, I know Zach Fisher's back, so... But even when Zach Fisher's played, when they've all played together, Caleb Daniel is still getting over 20. So 25 might be a bit too much to ask for him for now, but $1.24 for 20, yeah, without question. Josh Dunkley as well, just, yeah, 10 out of 10. Like, playing in the mid there, his quiet games will be 21 or 20. Huge. I like Dunkley. And Dane Zorko, another backline player who's dropped the bracket, just like Caleb Daniel, $1.19. This could be the last week we get him before Kitty Coleman comes back, before Tom Duday. Let's just take Dane Zorko before he goes into the forward pocket or something. So, yeah, I like Dane Zorko for 20. I think that should be easy. Luke Parker hasn't missed at all since playing for North. Been huge. Tom Powell I like, but just got to remember that George Wardlaw is back, and he's not actually here to bet on because it's fucking not updated. So, yeah, just be careful with that. So we got Tom Powell last week, which I really liked, but against a strong Lions mid, George Wardlaw's back. Tom Powell's CBA minutes are going to drop, even though you probably think it's going to be Luke Parker, but last time it was Powell. So maybe even after a good game like that, it might change, but I just don't want to take that risk when there's just these fat locks down here. That's crazy. 25 bracket, Sheasel's a bit too short for me, but I do like Lachie Neale. There's no Will Phillips or whatever, so I don't think he's going to get a strong tag. I really like Lachie Neale. But yeah, he can have misses, but fuck, he's had some big games recently. Yeah, not many I like from the 25. We're just keeping it pretty tame here in the 20 posi bracket. But like I said, I might update this because like not everyone's listed. Logan Morris re-signed, huge. That means he's kicking a goal, right? Oh, Charlie Cameron's back down to $1.08, so I'm so glad we got him for $1.20 last week. Very big. Kai Lohman's back. Zach Bailey's coming off a miss. There's no need to go for any risks here. Yeah, no, I'm very happy with the picks we've got here. That is insane. All of that, and they're all 10 out of 10. Anyway, I'm going to finish it up here. So thank you so much, guys. I need to finish this. This is like 5 o'clock. This might not get out before the footy, but we're going to stop the recording, upload, and see how we go. But until then, we'll talk next week. Jono should be back, and hopefully we have a nice, strong week. All right, too easy. See you guys. Peace.